Hello and welcome to Northside Now. This is the podcast where your three lovable hosts take you on a tour through all of the ministries and the latest happenings around Northside Church to keep you better connected with your church family. I'm your host, Patrick, and with me as always are my two fabulous co-hosts, Glenn Miller and Kevin Bryant.
Hello.
What's going on?
Great day in the neighborhood.
Yeah, beautiful weather outside.
Yep.
You know,
like 80 degrees and sunny.
If only. I think I swam to church this morning. So,
Well, we'd kind of gotten used to that for as it was that way for a couple of days, and boom, I'm in George now. I'm Jack Frost.
I do know there's a lot of weeds in my yard.
Yeah, mine too.
So there's that. Now, do you actually have grass?
We do have grass. They laid the Bermuda grass down, but on the back they didn't go all the way to so it's not all. So I do have a large amount of mud as well.
Yep. Sow some seed.
one of the advantages of apartment living is I don't have to worry about that. Well, I've been living in a house, and we just recently moved into an apartment, and so I don't have to worry about a yard anymore.
Hey, you know what? We got somewhere along the line, we got one of those rotary mowers.
Oh, yeah?
It would be good for the environment, good exercise, all that stuff. It works great unless you have Bermuda.
Oh, really?
And then because it's really tough.
Yeah,
right? Bermuda is, and it makes it really hard to push. But if you've got fescue, something or weeds, it works really pretty well.
Huh.
I was pretty amazed, and we got the kids involved. Like it was like the Tom Sawyer whitewashing the fence thing. Now somebody probably wants to go out there, but that's okay. I'll do it. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. You guys probably don't want to do that. And so we actually got some takers. It was great.
Oh, cool.
But that was a long time ago, and they're much wiser now.
Yeah, they figured it out.
Yeah.
Well, I moved from
They're onto your games.
I moved from walking mower to not walking anymore. I'm going to have a rider.
Get a zero turn
That's what everybody keeps telling me.
get one of those Z turns.
I don't know. They're just
for your massive yard.
It is big. I don't know what.
It's an investment.
Or just get some goats or something.
Now I'm
there you
all
go.
about that, but Barbie says no.
No?
She likes baby goats, and that's it.
Yeah.
A few weeks into it, she's done. I wanted chickens too, and she said
cow.
no chickens.
A cow.
I'd be about a cow, but she says no. So I guess no farm tax breaks for me.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yes.
Chief could eat a bunch of grass. That's probably not good.
Yeah. So we don't need him doing that. But yeah, so I'll be riding, or if there's, somebody wants to walk my yard, it's got plenty of time. Have at it.
Any takers that need to come over and get out some energy and frustration, you can mow my yard too.
There you go.
Hey, we've got a pretty good lineup today.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about something fun.
We are. I'm looking forward to these two guys getting in here with us because they're crazy. So,
The thing I'm feeling a little bit, I just don't do a whole lot of fishing.
Oh, really?
I've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it when I've done it, but it's not a family thing we did growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I don't really know these two guys coming in. Who are these people?
oh goodness, listen to him.
I don't know. I just come in here and read what you tell me to read.
Just reading the script.
We've got staff members. We got Randy and Jim.
Yep, Randy and Jim. Patrick, Randy is your dad, and Jim's your other dad.
And Pops.
This is two guys who raised you right there.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of connections with the church and, of course, with us. We've all known them for a good amount of time. Probably some cool stuff that's going to come out of that.
Yeah. And I fish with them all. I like to fish with them. But I'm the youngest guy that fishes with our group.
Really?
I am. And so it's really kind of funny because, I've learned a lot about fishing and a lot about other stuff, which is good. It's
young
been fun.
whippersnapper.
Yeah, I'm the whippersnapper. It's kind of fun to be the whippersnapper.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
My version of fishing is you light some dynamite and you just throw it in the water and just take a net and scoop out what floats to the top.
Yeah.
that is cool.
Well,
I've never done that. I'm just
Really?
no.
we
Where do
talked
you even get dynamite these days?
And that's a good question. Well, Tannerite, they do that for like birth announcements and stuff. They shoot down there and blow it up.
They did until California caught
Oh, yeah,
fire.
that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's true.
I have no idea where you get dynamite. You probably buy it on Amazon or something.
I don't know.
Probably.
I really don't know.
If anybody's got a dynamite hookup, let me know.
Oh my goodness. Hey, last week we talked to the Blazing Bakers.
Yeah.
You checked in on them this week? Did you?
I've seen their videos and stuff. They are blazing still.
Yeah, it's just amazing how fast they're going.
I know. They are. And their stuff is really good. So y'all definitely give them a check out because it's pretty neat what they do.
Yeah.
I think they're inflating their numbers. I think they're
they're padding the mileage.
they're rolling the cameras and then hopping in a car and driving and getting back out on the trail. And, whoa, look how far we made it. Oh, I'm just.
All right, Bakers. I know y'all are listening to the podcast. Y'all are faithful podcast listeners now. So
throwing some shade.
Y'all heard that. So I'll be driving him over for y'all to bring along with you. So.
No, I'm just very impressed with the pace that they're moving.
I agree
because I don't think I could.
But please, y'all call in if you see Bigfoot. We forgot about asking you about Bigfoot. So
yeah, you know his name, right? You're like on a first name basis. Daryl.
I thought his name was Harry.
Oh, that's when he lived with the Hendersons.
That's right.
He changed it after that
for witness protection.
Witness protection.
That's why people can't find Bigfoot. He's in witness protection. They just keep moving him around.
They're looking for Daryl, and he calls himself George.
My favorite T-shirt I have held in the back says Bigfoot, hide and seek champion since 19 something or another. That's awesome. I love that shirt.
Oh, that is good.
Pretty cool. So yeah, we have them, and they're also going to tell us a little bit about not just the fishing, but a little bit about what they do here at the church. But they also have some pretty interesting stories from the past. Jim worked on the train.
Oh yeah.
And Randy, did country music and with the Ramblers, and they got to sing with a lot of big name acts back in the day.
I think he sang for your crush.
He did. Oh,
which you'll have to ask him about that one.
I can't wait.
But then he also opened up for like Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson and a lot of big names.
Yeah,
so.
That's cool.
That is very cool.
All right, well, let's see what they've got to say about it.
So today we're here with Randy Mathenia and Jim Stilwell. They both work here at the church. They're both on staff, but they are here today in one capacity, and that's for the Northside Fishing Fellowship. Welcome to the podcast room, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we're glad that you're here. I finally got you off the boat and inside because the weather, as we're recording this today, is just not the best on the planet. So tell us a little bit about the Northside Fishing Fellowship, the guys that are part of that, and why it came about. How did the Fishing Fellowship come about?
There's approximately 21 non-boaters that are a member of the club now, and it's not all boaters, like I said, non-boaters as well. And once a month we get together, do an outing, as we call it, where we'll go somewhere, either Tennessee River or one of the local lakes, and we pair up and we have fun. We fish for fun.
Cool.
We started, 5 or 6 of us were in another fishing group and wanted to do something a little different, not as strenuous or stressful, kind of laid back fishing. So we decided to start one here at the church. We fish for points. We draw names and fish with different people each time we fish. We fish 11 times a year. And it's just for the enjoyment and bragging rights of who caught the biggest stringer for the year, who caught the biggest fish, and things like that.
Well, cool. What do y'all mostly bass fish? Is that what it is? Mostly bass fishing?
It's all bass fishing, catch and release. We catch a fish, we'll measure it on our ruler and record the length. And we've got a spreadsheet we can put the length in, and it figures the average weight for us, so we don't have to worry about weighing. Now, if somebody catches a big one, we're going to bring it in and let everybody ooh and ah with it.
Well, that sounds like fun, Kevin. Will y'all let Kevin come if he has a Spider-Man pole?
Sure.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what Spider-Man
like
fishing
a pole with Spider-Man on it?
Yeah.
Like,
unless you want a pink one with Barbie on it.
I've got one of those. I didn't know if I'd be accepted into the club or not. No, what I was going to ask is, what's the record, and did by any chance either of you have the record?
No, actually, I think the record fish caught is Dallas Bunger caught a 8.65 2 years ago, I think now, at Gibson County Lake. He's got the record for the biggest fish caught.
Now, we've all caught the littlest fish, probably about 3 to 4 inches long.
That sounds a little bit more like what I'd get, probably, yeah.
Now, where all do you fish? Do you like go to Lake Graham, or do you go up on the river, or where are some of the places that you tend to go quite a bit to?
Well, at first we started off in places like Paris Landing. We call it the Girl Scout camp area. It's actually the Henry County ramp because it's closer to the area that we fish. We've done the Buchanan's thing several years, going out there, Bird Song. We've done it, Cuba Landing, Mousetail, Mermaid. All those places up and down the river are good fishing spots, and we've all hit all those, even down to Savannah and onto the bridge. The dam.
Local lakes, we go to Beach Lake. We go to Pine Lake in Lexington. We go to the new 1,000-acre Carroll County Lake. We go to Gibson County Lake up in Trenton. We do the river, and then we do the lakes. We go down to Pickwick, fish out of Yellow Creek down there. We're going there this weekend.
So if I'm a guy who just, I don't know anything about it at all, no fishing at all, could I sign up or get in touch with somebody and come to one of the outings and fish with y'all, or do I have to be kind of a semi-pro kind of angler to do this?
None of us are professionals.
Oh, okay.
Let me just say that. None of us are professionals, but most of the boaters have equipment and have life jackets and things that if a non-boater doesn't have those things, then we can make sure that he's got them and he can fish with them.
Yeah, we've got plenty of rods and reels. We can show you how to use them, and if you've got a Zebco, bring it. We all use bait casting reels and spinning reels, but Zebcos and that type closed face are just as welcome.
Cool. Well, I know that I'm a part of this group as well, and I enjoy doing it a lot. So it's been a lot of fun. Plus, I've gotten to know some of the guys in the church that I would not have gotten to know otherwise. I would not be bumping into Mark Goodson and stuff. It's not like he has kids in the youth group or anything. They're grown. So I wouldn't get the opportunity to hang out with guys like that if I wasn't a part of this group. So it's always
we've got
cool
some folks that don't go to this church.
Yeah.
We got a Lambeth Memorial gentleman that fishes with us, and we've got a guy that lives up north of Dresden, comes down, moved from Wisconsin down here.
Oh, that's cool.
He fishes with us.
Yeah, you get to know people pretty well when you fish with them for 6 hours.
Yeah.
I was just going to say it's the fellowship part that of it that makes a lot of sense
that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
And we limit it to 6 hours.
Yeah.
The other group we fished with was 8 and 10, and it's just too long to fish, so we limit it to 6 hours. Most of the time, we'll stop and get some breakfast on the way, and always going to eat lunch on the way back. So it's food and fellowship.
Well, cool. So it's
with a little fishing on the side.
with a little fish, meaning that's what they catch.
Keyword there.
Right. Now, do you do? And I must say that I fish very, very rarely. I enjoy doing it, but I just don't do it a bunch right now. But do you guys enter tournaments like as a group or anything like that now, or do you just pretty much?
Well, Jim and I have fished in a few tournaments that were sponsored by other places like FHA and stuff like that. And actually, last year or the year before?
Year before, Randy and I won the Gibson County FFA tournament and won $500.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
New equipment.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, so the Northside Fishing Fellowship, you can get in touch. I think Dallas Bunger is the president, right? And
He's
of course, you can get in touch with Randy or Jim. Is Dallas the president because he got the largest fish?
No.
Oh, okay.
He got railroaded in.
All right, cool. Well, y'all are also on staff, so if you're interested in Northside Fishing Fellowship, any guys looking for an outdoor adventure type thing, or to, like I said, to get along with some, meet some other guys in the church, then definitely give these guys a holler, and they'll get you hooked in. Get it hooked in.
Hooked in.
Very
got
good.
that.
That's pretty good. Well, y'all are also. There we go. Thanks, Patrick. So y'all are also on staff, and Randy, you are the music minister and director of operations here at Northside, and Jim, you are the receptionist
And
/
publications
/ secretary / answer the phone /
That's it.
just do it all kind of guy.
Just
utility
started
man.
the bulletin back, so we've got the bulletin back, and we're looking sometime in the next month or so get the newsletter started back. So
good. So
things are starting to pick up.
Yeah, we'll have bulletins running around. So Randy, how did you end up as the music minister here at Northside?
Actually, it happened a long time ago. My wife actually came here first.
Okay.
She came here to substitute for the piano player that was here. She was gone. And Ray Barnett was here actually as the music director at that time. And Ray had played in a band with the Ramblers, which I was a member of the group. He knew Mitzi played well, and so he invited her to come and substitute. Well, she kind of fell in love with the place, and about a year later, she talked me into coming, and Ray took off to Nashville, and they found out I had a degree in music, and so wasn't too much long after that I got the music position.
Randy's Patrick's dad, in case anybody didn't know that, but I was always so jealous of Randy because he got to hang out and sing and open up for my childhood crush, my first crush on a celebrity.
Who was that?
Conway Twitty?
Barbara Mandrell.
Oh, yeah.
She was my crush.
Hiawassee, Georgia.
I was so jealous when I found out that he hung around with Barbara Mandrell. Do you know who she is?
I know who she is.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure.
I kind of thought she, had a crush too.
None of you non-country listeners always got to make sure.
I definitely know who she is.
I know. She's awesome.
Yeah,
she's awesome.
I agree.
Now, Jim, you used to work at P&G and you did some other stuff, but you used to work on the railroad.
Illinois Central Gulf Railroad. Yeah, I did. I was a trainman for a while, then took the test and got to be an extra conductor on freight trains. So, I ran the rails when the boys were little. I was gone every other day.
And you used to ride in the caboose sometimes?
I used to ride in the caboose and wave at people as we went by.
That's cool. What's a caboose? That's the little thing they used to have on the end, right?
That's right.
On Thomas the Train?
Now they have a flag.
Just, blinking light, pretty much. That's it. So did you ever find yourself lacking for something to do? Bored?
No.
It was always that interesting, just looking and watching things to do.
Listen to the clickety-clack, and watch people as you go by. It's amazing what people will say and do to you as you go by. And there's some stories there I can't talk about. But it was a fun job. Yeah. If I hadn't gotten laid off, I would have retired there. But in 1982, I got laid off and drew unemployment for a couple of years, waiting to go back, and it never happened. And they started the cookie plant at Procter & Gamble, so I got hired on there.
Yeah, a lot of people probably don't know, maybe moved to Jackson recently, but Jackson's a big train town, historically.
I hired out in 73. There were 27 trains in and out of Jackson when I hired out.
Wow.
And now there's 2.
Yeah. Well, and I remember looking into the history where they had the engine works downtown,
right,
where they built the trains. It's really pretty fascinating, those who are history
James
lovers.
Hubble, a member of this church, worked in the shops as an electrician.
Okay.
So, there's a lot of history in Jackson with trains.
Definitely.
Barbie's grandfather worked with James, too, in the shop back in the day. So did you ever run across Casey Jones?
No.
Oh, okay.
That was way before my time.
Oh, okay. All right. Just want to make sure. I didn't know if maybe you got to eat for free over at
No.
All right. Well, cool. Well, I think riding the train's pretty cool because, growing up in Texas, they had those long Santa Fe trains, those blue and gold ones. That was always so cool.
And when something happens and you've got to walk the train, you wind up finding hobos in a boxcar somewhere, and they like to try to scare you.
How was that?
How was what?
Finding hobos on your train.
Well, you just say, hi, how you doing? And you just keep walking because that's just that's just
cool.
the way they did it. They just how they went from place to place is on an empty boxcar.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, Randy, you were in the Ramblers, and y'all got to sing with, my childhood crush, Barbara Mandrell, and many others. So how was it being a country star back in the day?
Well, we did a little country and gospel.
Okay.
We did a little both. So we'd go to churches and we'd have one set, and we'd go to the county fairs and things. We predominantly did fairs, state fairs and stuff like that. That was our big venue.
Yeah.
And then churches or our other venue. Just like anybody else, it was exciting. It was fun. And then it turned into where we felt like we wanted to make it a career. And we got to the record labels and almost had it, but it really turns into how much money can you put into your first demo and things like that. And we just didn't have the money. So we still sing together. We still get together just once or twice a year now. We don't sing every weekend like we used to, but we're still together and communicating.
I've seen them. I've seen the Ramblers once here at the church one time. I think y'all played.
Yeah, I don't know that I ever saw you sing here, but when I first got out of college, one of the places I worked was up in Bells, and I think you maybe had done some recording there with Paul Jackson in the studio. So I learned a little bit about it then. I always thought that was cool.
They wear those big foam cowboy hats back then. They do. They did the last time I saw them. That was really cool. I love that song when y'all do that.
Yeah, we got some crazy guys in our group.
Well, cool. Well, we do a thing called 3 for 30. And we like to do it with all of our staff guests. And so I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and you have 30 seconds. So, Randy, since you have the mic right now, we're going to start with you. So what is your favorite Bible verse?
John 3:16.
Who's your favorite Bible character?
Moses.
And what is your favorite Bible story? It looks like childhood Bible story.
I like the Ark.
Ooh, the Ark.
Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
Good ones.
Those would be very appropriate for the last few days around here.
It seems like it.
All right, Jim. All right. So what is your favorite Bible verse?
23rd Psalm.
23rd. Okay. Well, who's your favorite Bible character?
Peter.
And what is your favorite children's Bible story?
Let me think. It's been a long time since I was a child.
Well, they don't be children's. It could be your favorite story.
Well, I like the stories that Jesus told because he always had the children with him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So just about any of them.
Well, cool. Yeah. Is there one that
loaves and the fishes?
The loaves and the fishes.
Parable.
The parable. Yeah. When you're throwing that out there, that's cool.
Fishers of men. There you go, Patrick.
Yeah. So, well, good. Well, thanks, guys, for coming in and letting us know about the Northside Fishing Fellowship and getting a chance to meet a couple more of our staff members here at Northside. And Jim's going to be making sure that he's listening to the podcast, too, out there at his desk. So he's already pulled it up. He's ready to go.
Ready to go.
Ready to go. Well, thanks for dropping by, and hopefully we'll get a few guys want to join and come fishing with the guys.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yep. We'd love to have any of you.
All right. Well, thanks.
Well, most any of you.
Wow, that was some good stuff. I asked a lot of really great questions during that.
Yeah, I noticed that you were absent.
Well, as part of the podcast room, we only have enough microphones for 4, and so sometimes we get.
So I drew the short straw on that one.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about the life of a hobo.
Yeah.
And at one point, I was very intrigued about that. And I can't remember which one of my kids actually learned about that a little bit more. Mm-hmm. That was obviously it was a lifestyle, but it was sort of more than that in some cases. But I was reminded of I was just thinking about the Polar Express.
Oh yeah.
You know, in the hobo sections. Of course, it's all Tom Hanks, but that's kind of a scary section in there. I would imagine, especially if you're checking boxcars at night and somebody, pops out at you.
Yeah, how would you react if you came
excuse me, I got to change your clothes. I need to work on it.
I just don't believe Jim said, "Hi, how you doing?" Yeah. And they talk about hobos. They have like all these symbols and stuff that people said that they would mark places that would help. And there's these symbols that they know that, a lot of us don't see and stuff. I think that's interesting.
I wonder how that, what it's like today.
I don't know.
I mean, there's still a lot of freight that moves coast to coast on trains. Not as much of it kind of goes through Jackson maybe as it once did, but that's still a very viable way to ship stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's people still hopping the rails. I imagine there is. So, Kevin, what's going on the rails in Mars? What's happening up there?
I
in the
could say
space?
it's off the rails, but
Off
no,
the rails.
everything is fine up there. I think you talked a couple weeks ago about the laser sound of a laser. I did hear another recording last few days that has a strange scratching sound. I should have played it. They don't know exactly what it is yet. It could be something rubbing up against the microphone. And of course, if you read all the comments on the videos, it's like, oh yeah, the aliens are getting mad that everybody's up there. Just all this funny stuff like that. But I was just going to briefly mention, SpaceX continues the mad dash to space. They've launched over 1,200 satellites so far in this Starlink mission.
Oh, wow.
And I think they've had, maybe 60 launches in the last, I can't even remember, maybe two years or so.
Wow.
They're just at such a blazing pace. And of course their goal is to cover the earth with, this satellite network for everybody to connect with. But it's just amazing. The pace at which stuff is growing is, like I said before, it's a cool time to be alive if you're interested in space and any of that kind of stuff.
What's neat about that is we have people who have enough money to create a corporation and do that without a government, quote unquote, doing that, or multiple governments doing that. That to me, that's interesting. That
Elon Musk is the closest thing to Tony Stark we're ever going to have in real life.
maybe.
Yeah, think about it. Like, he decided to make cars, and he decided to make electric cars that could compete with real ones, and then he built an infrastructure across the country to charge those cars, and then he decided he was going to go to space, and then he strapped one of his cars onto a rocket and launched it up there, and now
he's into telecom, and it's just
he made flamethrowers that anybody could buy. Well, I think he only limited it to like 2,000, but his boring company made flamethrowers.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Well, and speaking of the electric stuff, Jim and I were waiting on Randy to get after lunch the other day to get out of Walmart. So we were waiting over by the electric pumps to gas up, quote unquote, your car.
right.
And so we wondered how much that would cost. And so I kind of got to looking. I think it's like $2.18
yeah.
a kilowatt hour. I don't know.
Wow.
I couldn't really figure it all. It's really different. So it basically, I can't remember the name of the car, but it basically runs one of the really pretty closely 25 miles. The cost runs pretty close to one of the small, really super
trying to keep
economic
it
cars and
consistent
stuff.
with gas prices.
And so it's interesting to me how they're going to regulate that kind of like a liquid, and that's going to be interesting because it's coming. It's coming.
Oh, for sure.
We're going to have everybody's going to be plugging in. I just feel like that's happening. So.
But it's one of those things. Would we be this far along if it hadn't been for Elon Musk?
I don't know.
Well, I think I think it might not have gone this fast.
Yeah.
But one of the things that's cool about his model is, and I've watched a lot of commentary on this that's different than the governmental model, is that they are risk is the name of the game with Elon Musk. Basically, you can't move fast if you don't take risk. And with the government, it's an entirely different story because you have so much oversight and so much bureaucracy, and it's funded by the taxpayer money.
Yeah.
And so you have a lot more accountability, and maybe rightfully so, when it's not your money that goes into it. And it can be with administrations, different policies can change. You'll be in the middle of a program and then all the funding's cut, and so that has to go away. So it really is more when it is actually a technology development thing called agile, but you're more agile in this kind of fail early and fail often. Yeah. And then you'll get to where you want to go faster. And so that's what he's been able to do in all these other technologies that he's been successful at, and it's worked.
Yeah.
Kevin, I heard yesterday about this guy. I don't know. I can't remember the name, but they're wanting to create like a bunker on the moon that's going to have seeds and all this stuff in case something happens to Earth and mankind is totally destroyed, that there'll be a bunker with all the things to recreate the life on Earth. the animals.
Oh, this is taking doomsday prepping to a whole new level.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
I just heard it yesterday.
No,
for
I
the
haven't
first
seen
time.
that. But there is the I don't remember the name of it. I want to say it's like International Seed Bank.
Yeah,
in Norway.
Yeah,
I think it's Norway, where they have all of the seeds claimed from all parts of the world for similar purposes.
Well, this guy was saying we need to put it on the moon, I guess, in case something happens to Earth and there's someone left enough who can get to the moon.
Well, yeah, if something happens to the Earth, what happens to the moon?
Well, they were, I guess, the horrible doomsday ideas and stuff. I don't know. It's just interesting.
It is.
The thing is, we are looking at space now as like it's this next obtainable, we can do stuff out there now. It's no longer this very, very few. I think the idea is getting more and more that there's a lot of stuff we can do, and it's not going to be that weird sounding to maybe someone who someday you'll know someone who's been to space.
Right. It becomes a lot more achievable for everyday people to even, not necessarily to be there in our lifetime, but to consider being there or to do something about it. I mean, with the development of, and this is nothing necessarily new, but Space Force, and it's obviously become something that folks in positions of authority are thinking about.
Yeah.
And it's definitely gone beyond governments, not only governments, to now private corporations. How can we be more capitalist about it? What are the opportunities to make money from it? And we've talked about space tourism and all this stuff that 10 years ago seemed like, whoa, that's sci-fi, that'd be a great movie, whatever.
Well, that's the way sci-fi works, though. They imagine what could happen, and then people in the real world take those ideas and try to make them happen.
That's true.
I mean, it's the same way with like Jules Verne, who was writing about submarines and scuba divers and stuff before any of that stuff ever existed. So same concept.
And it's like in the church, people come up, oh, we want to do this ministry idea, or we want to try this, or we want to try that. There's always those ideas, but you're always looking for someone who has a passion that are willing to champion it. And that's what you have Elon Musk and several others they have a passion and they're willing to champion it. And so it's happening. And the same thing happens in any organization. You have people that want to try something new.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
well,
definitely.
Speaking of capitalism and really rich people, that segues well into my toy minute for
and
today.
Passion.
That is good.
What's up in the world of toys?
As of this recording, this press release was released this morning, and Monopoly, for the first time in 85 plus years, is changing all of their community chest cards.
Really?
All of them. No more getting second place in a beauty pageant. It's all about shopping local and rescuing puppies. And
Really?
And you can actually go online and vote for which cards you want to show up. But yeah, they're scrapping all of the community chest cards and updating them for the modern age.
So no more bank error in your favor?
Nope, none of that. It's all like getting cookies at the local bake sale and helping out your community.
Online business fails due to
basically
crashing economy.
There's social media stuff, and seriously, it's
you are trending. You are trending in socials.
Ooh, your GameStop stock.
Yeah, well, I think it's probably about time, right?
Yeah.
But it is an interesting milestone.
Are they still using cash at all? Because isn't there a version where you just use a debit card or?
I think there is.
Now there's a ton of different versions of it, but in that traditional Monopoly, I think they're still using cash and everything, but they're changing all the community chest cards.
And they're not changing any of the pieces or anything at this stage. I know they've changed some in the past, but
no, as far as I know, it's that's what they're changing.
Interesting.
According to this press release, it's the community chest that's being changed.
You could make it an online massive multiplayer game with Bitcoin and all kinds of stuff.
Well, I mean, they have a
selling real estate
for real
via Monopoly game.
Yeah, I guarantee you could do that if you use Bitcoin for sure.
That's an interesting idea there.
That is interesting.
I have a ton of different, but there's a bunch of different versions. I have like 8 different Star Wars Monopolies, and I have a Ninja Turtles Monopoly, and I don't know, there's a ton of different versions where they change things for that particular version, but just that classic Monopoly has been the same for 85 plus years
Wow.
until now.
Well, and it's a pretty, I don't know the history of Monopoly, but it's a pretty unique and interesting game. I don't know how many iterations it went through.
Pretty fraught with scandal, to be entirely honest.
Really?
I'd encourage people to do some research because it's actually pretty interesting.
I'm going to have to do that.
I don't know many times that Monopoly games at our house didn't end in tears.
After the third day?
Yeah. Someone's mad because you got all the
You're a cheater and
properties.
the banker. It's not fair.
Yeah, you got hotels. You're going to wipe me out. Don't wipe me out.
Yes, I agree. We had some of those too. Whenever we get together with our cousins, I had an older cousin that he was, maybe it was 4 or 5 years older than me. Maybe not quite that much, but he always seemed so much older. And he would set up these games, and I always thought in the back of my head, this is probably not going to go well. Something's going to happen. He's going to know something I don't know. But we set up the board, and the games would literally take 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
And it usually ended in not a winner, just other people folding.
Yeah.
You know?
So what is your favorite board game?
Oh, boy.
Patrick, you get ready too.
I think probably it's an old classic, but Sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I like Sorry.
Sorry, maybe Clue, which is not totally just a board game, but it
that was going to be one of mine. I like Clue.
Clue is good, yeah.
The whole murder mystery thing.
But there's been so many,
Shoots and Ladders is always a classic
Shoots and
that I
Ladders.
like.
And I didn't even play that until I was older, believe it or not.
Really?
When I was a kid, I never played that. Or Candyland.
Yeah.
None of that.
Candyland's a good one.
I like the game Trouble because it has that little bubble you get to punch in the middle.
Yeah.
When the bubble stops working, though, it's no fun. That
Yeah, no,
actually
then you
happened
throw
to
it in
us.
the garbage.
Because I think my brothers were banging on it.
That's the most fun part about Trouble is just pushing the
thing. The little
bubble thing. Yeah.
There's stuff like categories.
Yeah, what are we considering a board game?
Pictionary is not a board game, right?
Are we
so.
talking about things with just have a board? Or,
Yeah, you have to have a board. Not a card game or not a family game, but board game.
For me, the other one I would say is probably only my favorite, maybe one other in my family, in my with my kids, is Trivial Pursuit.
Yeah.
I love that because I'm a sort of a trivia nut, but none of the rest of them really like it. So,
well, I have to mention these two because these are actually probably my two favorites. Settlers of Catan.
Okay. Yeah.
Which, if you don't know what that is, check it out. It's a resource management game.
Okay, I
Settlers
understand
of Catan.
that, but I never played it.
Well, some people say Catan, but they're wrong. It's Catan. And then also Ticket to Ride.
I have heard of that.
Is
one.
that the train?
That's the train game.
Yeah.
It is good.
Seems appropriate for this episode.
I've played that game online, but never on the board game.
Yeah,
Those
I
are
played
both
the board game.
Very,
It's fun.
Very fun.
It is a lot of fun. What about you, Glenn?
I like a lot of the ones you mentioned.
Yeah.
Mousetrap was another one I really enjoyed as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
But now in really since adulthood, Axis and Allies it's a World War II turn-based.
Oh yeah, that's
board
like
game.
it's like Risk on steroids.
I was
It's
just
Risk
gonna
on
say.
steroids. Yeah, I love that game.
But does anybody actually like Risk? Like,
I like Risk. That was a good one.
I
don't
would
know that
never
I've
win.
I don't know that I've ever played a complete game of Risk.
Yeah.
It's sort of like you were saying, people just fold after 3 days.
It's like
They're
I
done.
can't take it anymore.
So often, you're playing with Risk and you're losing, and you accidentally hit the table too hard, and everything falls over. And whoops, sorry. Yeah, I've been known to do that.
Oh, that's good. How many of your families still play board games?
We have gotten more. Honestly, COVID really got us a little bit more into it. The girls like to play Rummy Cube all the time, and it's
I don't know
not.
what that is.
It's more of a.
It's got the little tiles. Yeah.
tile and dice.
My
I
mom
guess.
likes Rummy Cube.
Got it.
COVID definitely did more for
Well,
us.
it's such a good family activity,
It is.
and
Unless your family is as competitive as mine.
well,
It
and
just turns into
that is true. That can be problematic, I suppose. But it just feels like a lot of times, even with COVID, we're all sort of in our own world, doing our own little electronic,
Yeah.
whatever it is, Pinterest or email or socials or YouTube or whatever it is. And I think it's something that increasingly it'll be interesting to see how we develop as families, as Christian families, how it's going to have to be an intentional thing.
Yeah.
With the advent of all the technology we've talked about, gives you plenty of opportunity to be distracted or entertained, regardless of, whichever one you want at the current moment. But social interaction in person is a super important thing still.
Jigsaw puzzles the last year went up astronomically. They darn near died, and now you can't hardly find them. I mean, they're getting more and more now, but for a while you couldn't find jigsaw puzzles. And
I've done more puzzles in the last year than I have in the last 10 years. So
yeah, I love puzzles, and I'm really intrigued by the new ones that have. There's one I saw that had each piece is a unique shape, and it has its own little. And I wish I remember what that was, but each piece is unique, and it's got its own little design on it. But it comes together to build a picture, just like a regular puzzle. So there's so many things, so many different kinds of puzzles to do nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
It's just amazing.
solid color puzzles.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
wow.
Oh,
a
yeah.
black, if you're just like a solid black or a solid white.
Yeah.
that would be
That's
crazy.
challenging.
Well, I've seen them. They're like solid blue. You can get like any color, but they're just solid color puzzles.
We had one
Just
time. It was just like a bunch of M&Ms.
Oh, yes.
Big bowl of M&Ms, and
That
you're
would
like
almost
looking down into it.
That would almost be harder than a solid
Oh,
color.
it was crazy. It was crazy.
Or looking down on a big box or tub of crayons.
Oh, yeah.
They're all the same shape, slightly different colors, repeated colors. Like, whoa, makes your mind go nuts. But rabbit holes, did you find any this week?
Well, none that are super crazy. Actually, been looking at the Holderness family still. They're putting out like getting their vaccines videos and things. So no, not this week. I have to be honest. I've not had cable for a full week now, or internet at my house. And so that has been an interesting challenge. Of course, the data plan is unlimited, so I can pretty well hit up anything. But
yeah,
my YouTube has not been used as much the last week and a half almost now. So getting it Saturday, yay! You see my knees bouncing.
Back.
I'm like all nervous energy over here. So.
Did you see Dolly Parton's little parody on Jolene?
No, I missed that.
Vaccine.
Oh,
vaccine. And she it was really pretty neat what she did. She was at Vanderbilt in Nashville and got her shot live on camera.
Okay, cool.
That whole thing, but I saw that. It was pretty funny.
She's a national treasure.
Yeah.
She is just a powerhouse at how 70?
She's 29.
Yeah. Well,
Not the age of her wigs, but
I was just going to say. She's
been
pretty
29
cool
for the last however many years.
Yeah. Oh, didn't you tell me, Glenn, something about we were talking Oregon Trail?
yeah. Actually, I did kind of fall down a little bit of a rabbit hole. It wasn't just truly fully YouTube, but I've been really engrossed in wanting to play the Oregon Trail again, which I think is a board game now too.
Oh yeah, it's more of a card game now. But
yeah. But when Kevin got here today, I was watching a video on the similarities and dissimilarities in Oregon Trail the game and Oregon Trail the real live thing. So this guy was going through it. It was pretty interesting. So I have been on that little Oregon Trail kick lately, and I don't know why.
Let me guess. The common factor is death.
Yeah.
Snake
Oh no,
bite.
you broke your axle and
Yeah. Cholera.
Yeah.
you failed to ford the stream.
The thing is, I have played Oregon Trail from the very moment it came out until I guess the latest. I don't know. I was looking, is it on your phone? I couldn't find it on my phone if there's anything like that.
I don't know. I haven't played it.
I think they still have the
Long
computer version, but I'm not real sure if
But
it's on.
the real Oregon Trail was, you were lucky if you made it. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, because there were so many
Died of
opportunities.
dysentery so many different
Cholera,
times.
and dysentery. Yes.
Yeah, or you drown in the crossing a
snake
stream, or the
Yeah.
Indians would get you, or something. There was always it was tough. And one of the things on this video was just how boring it was too. It's just monotonous sitting there day after day, riding on or walking beside a wagon. Mm-hmm. You know, those things had to just beat you to death.
But without that, we never would have found California.
Oh no, I mean, and they did it for land. Abraham Lincoln signed they could go snag up 150 acres if you promise to do a farm.
Wow.
It was interesting.
A lot of brave souls making that trek for sure.
Yeah. pretty interesting stuff. Would we be tough enough to make it on the Oregon Trail today? Or mountain man? Could you be a mountain man?
Or that show that you guys turned me on to, Alone.
Yeah.
It is so difficult to do. You definitely have to have some skills, and if you didn't, then God had to be providing for you, because it is not easy to do.
Yeah,
Well,
it
and
just
beyond the actual skills, just having the mental capacity to deal with it, the mental fortitude
to
deal with all that. That's a whole nother battle in and of itself, beyond the physical.
The one thing I know is that we as humans are wired to be survivors. Now, I don't know that all of us would survive, but I do think that when put in difficult situations, we are able to make the best of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that faith can do for you, obviously, is to tap into that power of the Holy Spirit and God's power to keep your mind in the right place so that you can be open and ready to do what it takes to figure out a situation, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power and of love and of sound mind.
So,
Yeah.
Right.
I think one version says self-discipline. too.
Self-discipline, self-control. There's a bunch of different
Self-control,
versions.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that to answer your question, I think we could do it. It would be hard for most of us, but I think it's still something.
Be interesting without electricity and running water and just the different thing. I mean, we do that, right? For a while, we'll go camping or something, but it's interesting to see if we could make that trek. It'd be interesting to see if we could do it.
There's a lot of that on the AT.
Yeah.
What
that's true.
the Bakers are doing is a lot of that. That's why I enjoy being out in nature and kind of hiking and camping and those kinds of things, because it does give you a chance to take a break and reset a little bit.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting, the guys fishing, and nowadays fishing is a lot different than just an old cane pole and and a worm on a hook. They're out there
The
with
Spider-Man pole.
Yeah, they're out there with boats that have more graphics on it and electronics on it than the Apollo rocket did, and they're fishing and it helps.
My dad just got some new depth finders that he's getting put on the boat. And it's
pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, it is pretty neat.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And a lot of that comes back from the space thing. So, but I think as we make this journey, we're so close to Easter now, and this, for me, this Easter really feels like Easter. And it feels like, man, there's going to be a celebration and a half because we're coming out of this pandemic side, and last year we were diving into it, and this year we're jumping out of it. And to me, Easter this year really, really, really feels like we're at the end of the Oregon Trail. We're at the end of this journey, and we're about to see it. I think of the Ingalls, the beginning of that show, and the kids are running down the hill, and you're like, oh, and now you may fall and stumble, and but I feel like we're just doing something new this year, and it's going to be a good Easter.
It's exciting.
A good Easter.
Yeah. Speaking of Easter and all the stuff upcoming, what is on the calendar coming up?
Well, on the 27th at 10 a.m., there is the Easter egg hunt for the kids.
With the animals that were not here we couldn't make it for Christmas.
Yeah, but we're getting the animals.
It's going to be great.
2 camels.
Yeah. If you want to hear more about that, you can check out our last episode with Christy.
That's it.
And then we've got our Palm Sunday. And now I'm not sure. I'm sure we'll do something, but I don't have specifics yet as far as Gethsemane Wednesday and Monday, Thursday. And I'm sure we're going to have a Good Friday service. What that looks like at this point, I'm not real sure. But then we'll have Easter Sunday, and that's going to be a celebration. So
cool. It's one of my favorite sermons things, and and Sunday's coming, That's
right.
It might be Good Friday, but Sunday's coming.
Well, thanks for joining us today on.
You did it last time. I was sitting there looking at you like, all right, you did it last time. You did it.
Well, thanks for joining us today. Thank you guys for podcasting with me. It's been fun.
Yeah.
And make sure you guys like and subscribe, share, love, follow, spread the word, tell everybody you can about us. Every little thing you can do helps. So, and make sure you tune in next week, and we'll see y'all later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.